They judged her the moment she stepped off the transport. Not with words. With looks. A few glances exchanged between younger operators. A half-smile that didn't quite hide the doubt. Someone actually checked the roster again, like maybe there had been a clerical error. 40 years old. In a world that worshipped speed, youth, and Instagram-ready muscles, 40 sounded like a liability. Tier 1 units were supposed to be sharp blades, not heirlooms. She didn't react. She never did. Her hair was tied back tight, streaked with grey she didn't bother hiding. Her kit was plain, uncustomized, almost boring. No morale patches. No slogans. No noise. Even the way she stood felt economical, like she had long ago stopped wasting effort on anything unnecessary. Command seriously sent her, one of the younger men muttered, not as quietly as he thought. She heard it. Of course she did. But she kept her eyes forward. This wasn't her first welcome. The briefing room buzzed with confidence. These operators were the best of the best, fast, aggressive, brilliant on paper. They'd stack bodies and medals early in their careers. Most of them hadn't even been born when she ran her first cross-border operation. The mission was simple on slides. Hostage recovery. High-value target. Mountain terrain. Weather unpredictable. Enemy seasoned. Simple never meant easy. The team leader, mid-30s, leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. "So what's your role?" he asked, polite but already decided. She glanced at the map once. Just once. "I'll walk point through the ravine," she said calmly. "I'll handle contact if it breaks left. If it breaks right, you'll hear it before you see it." A pause. Someone snorted. With respect, the team leader said, choosing his words carefully, "We usually put the fastest up front." She finally looked at him then. Not challenging. Not defensive. "Good," she said. "Then you'll keep up." The room went quiet. Out in the field, assumptions die faster than men. The insertion went sideways before sunrise. The weather shifted earlier than predicted. Comms degraded. Visibility dropped to nothing but shapes and breath. That ravine she'd chosen? It funneled sound. Footsteps echoed wrong. Rocks shifted under careless boots. She raised a fist. The entire element froze. No one else had heard it yet. She had. A breath that didn't belong to them. A pause too long. She moved without signal, slipping off the trail like she had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times, because she had. Not on paper. In real places. With real consequences. The first enemy never knew she was there. No rush. No drama. Just efficiency. The contact broke left. Exactly like she said. When gunfire finally erupted, it was controlled, deliberate. Not panic. Not bravado. The younger operators followed her movements instinctively now, without questioning why they suddenly trusted her judgment more than their own. At one point, the team leader stumbled. Loose shale. Bad angle. She grabbed him before gravity finished the job. Didn't say a word. Later, pinned down, ammo low, she rerouted the assault through a path no drone had mapped. She remembered it, from 20 years earlier, from a mission no one had ever written about because the people involved never made it home to brag. Memory is a weapon if you survive long enough to sharpen it. They extracted with all hostages alive. 0 friendly casualties. Back at base, the room felt different. Quieter. Nobody joked. Nobody checked their phones. The team leader stood, walked over to her, and stopped short, unsure how to address what he didn't understand yet. "I didn't know," he said finally. She nodded. That's usually the case. He hesitated. "How long have you been doing this?" She thought for a second. Not because she didn't know. Because the number still surprised people. Long enough, she said, to learn that age doesn't slow you down. She tapped the side of her head lightly. Ego does. Someone else spoke up, voice lower now. Why didn't you correct us? When we assumed. She slung her bag over her shoulder. Because humility learned in the field sticks better than humility explained in a room. At the door, she paused. You judged me by what time did to my body, she said, not unkindly. I judge people by what time taught them. Then she walked out the same way she had walked in. Unimpressed. Unshaken. Unforgotten. And from that day on, whenever a new operator arrived, quiet, older, underestimated, no one laughed. They remembered her. They judged her before the helicopter blades finished slowing down. It wasn't written anywhere. No one said it out loud at first. It lived in the pauses, those half seconds too long when eyes lingered, the way conversations dipped when she walked past, the subtle recalculation in people's heads. 40 years old. In a unit where careers burned fast and bright, 40 sounded ancient. Most operators were already planning exits by then, training roles, consulting gigs, quiet disappearances into civilian life. Tier 1 was supposed to belong to the young, the relentless, the unscarred. She carried none of that insecurity with her. Her boots hit the ground like they had done it 1,000 times before. Not heavy. Not loud. Just final. Her kit was clean but worn in the places that mattered. The kind of wear you couldn't fake, no matter how much money you threw at gear. One of the younger operators whispered, "That's her." Another shrugged. Guess command's testing diversity or something. She heard them. She always heard everything. But she didn't turn around. The operations room smelled like coffee and confidence. Maps glowed on screens. Drones fed live terrain images. The team was sharp, aggressive, polished, careers built on speed and decisiveness. They talked fast, joked faster, and believed deeply in their own invincibility. She took a seat near the wall, silent. The mission briefing rolled on. Hostages taken by a veteran insurgent cell. Mountain region. Limited extraction window. Political pressure high. The team leader, young, decorated, brilliant, ran the room with ease. He pointed at the map, outlining routes, contingencies, fallback plans. Then he paused. "All right," he said, glancing toward her, "you've been added as an advisor." A subtle downgrade. Advisor sounded safe. She didn't correct him. She stood and walked to the table instead. She didn't point at the screen right away. She studied it. Let the room breathe. Finally, she spoke. Calm. Even. "This approach valley is wrong," she said. A few heads turned sharply. The team leader frowned. "Intel says it's clear." She nodded. It was 10 years ago. A ripple of skepticism. She reached out and traced a line with her finger, not where the drones were looking, but just beside it. "This ridge collapses sound. You'll think you're hidden. You won't be. They'll hear you breathing." Someone laughed under their breath. She looked up. Not angry. Not offended. "Change nothing," she continued, "and you'll still succeed. But you'll lose time. Maybe a man.